In this video, I'm going to walk you through a 10-minute hip flexor strengthening class. This class is actually part of my membership, the Runners Complete Club, so I hope you enjoy it. If you want to know more about the membership, I'll link it below. But this class is great if you have tight hip flexors or you want to increase your speed, because the hip flexor or the iliopsoas muscle specifically is a powerhouse muscle. So as you increase speed, you want to make sure that muscle is nice and strong. So make sure you bookmark this class, keep up with it, keep consistent with it, and enjoy. Hey runners, and welcome to a 10-minute hip flexion strengthening class. So if you've ever had tight hip flexors, then I know you've tried stretching them and maybe you're not even seeing the benefits of stretching. You're doing the stretches, and then the next day when you go for a run, that tightness that you're feeling is coming right back. And the answer might be strengthening. So today I'm going to walk you through some exercises that will help strengthen your hip flexors, because they're very important for running, for that proper knee drive as you bring your leg through during the gait cycle. So equipment for today, I have two different resistance bands. One is a lighter resistance band, one is a heavier resistance band, so just having them available would be great. To start, we're going to get into a half kneeling position. One knee on the ground, one foot on the ground, and all I want you to do, you're going to tuck that pelvis backwards into a posterior pelvic tilt. So drawing your belly button back, squeezing your glute, and you're going to bring that heel on the ground, lean forward. Good, and then from here, bend your knee and flow forward. Good, and you're just going to go into this hamstring hip flexor flow. Make sure that you keep that pelvis in that posterior pelvic tilt. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds. Good. Flowing, holding a couple seconds. And just flowing, trying to loosen things up. Good, we'll do one more each way. Good, all right, I'm gonna switch sides here. So same thing, posterior pelvic tilt as I lean forward. And then I'm going into that hamstring flow. Good, make sure you keep that tilt. Bending that front knee to get a little bit deeper. As you flow in, good. We'll do two more on this side. Then we'll get into some strengthening exercises, but it's always good to just warm up your muscles before you get into strengthening. Good, one more. Good. All right, now go ahead and grab your band. I'm gonna grab my lighter band, and I'm gonna put it around the balls of my feet. We're going into a standing hip flexion march. So I have the wall right by me if I need to. My feet are shoulder width apart, toes facing forward. I'm gonna march up and I'm gonna alternate. And we're just gonna keep this rhythm of alternating marching for about 30 seconds. Try to lift that knee up. Keep your toes facing forward. Good. Nice and controlled here. If you have a heavy resistance band, make sure you're still getting into that proper range of motion. Good. One more each side. Good. Now you're going to move that band to your ankles. All right, so it's around your ankles. From here, I still have the wall near me, and I'm just going to kick forward. Alternate kicking forward. So now your knee is straight. And you're going into just hip flexion. So with the knee bent as knee flexion and hip flexion. So now it's just hip flexion. Your knee is straight. About 10 more seconds. Good. One more each side. You're probably feeling a burn. Good. Go ahead and take that band off. So for this next one, we're going to go into mountain climbers. So I have a box near me. You can do it with your hands on the box or all the way on the ground going into mountain climbers. So the goal is quickly bringing your knee into your chest. We're going to go for about 30 seconds. The faster you go, the harder. And you can add a little rhythm to it, but go ahead, join me. Good core control. Good, 10 more seconds here. And stop. Good, go ahead and stand on up. All right, so from here, you can grab a chair, a box, a bed, whatever you have available. And all you're gonna do, put that knee up on this box, and I want you to lift up. So you're going into the more end range hip flexion, lift, hold 5 seconds, relax. Lift, hold 5 seconds, relax. Good. Try not to lean your trunk back. It's just an isometric hold. At end range, we have one more on this side. Good, and switch. So just a small lift, hold. You might be able to tell that one side's easier or harder. It's always good to note. So you can go through this class 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe you tack it on to your strength training, or you do a post run before your mobility. However you get it in, if you're having tight hip flexors, then I would definitely make sure you stay consistent with this class. All right, we're gonna start from the top. So grab that resistance band, put it around the balls of your feet. And we're going into that standing march. Go ahead and join me. You're alternating here. Get that knee up as high as you can. Controlled, but at a pretty good rhythm. Good. Also try to keep your shoulders over your pelvis. So you don't want to be leaning to one side just to get your hip up into hip flexion. That's what I mean by core control, so those shoulders stay right over your pelvis. There's no leaning going on. All right, one more each side. Good, now you're gonna move that band to your ankles and kick straight ahead, 30 seconds. Good. Definitely feel my hip flexors burning. It's the same thing here. I just saw myself leaning, and you really want to make sure it's controlled. So you kick straight forward, straight ahead. 5 more seconds. Good, relax. Take that band off, and we're gonna go into 30-second mountain climbers. So go ahead, either on the ground or on your box. Go ahead and start here. 30 seconds. Good, you can modify by stepping, or you want to add a little bit quicker speed. If you're working on running faster, getting more speed work in, this is great. Strengthen your hip flexors. They definitely have to be strong and powerful to run faster. Good, 5 more seconds. And stop. All right, last exercise here. You're gonna put your foot on the box, and we're gonna lift up, hold 5 seconds, relax. Lift up, and relax, good. Up. Your pelvis should be staying equal, should not be dropping just because you're lifting your hip up. You don't want to be hiking your hip up with your glute. You want to be using, in your low back, you want to be just using your hip flexor. One more. Good. Switch. Same thing, it's just isolated hip flexion. Relax. Go ahead. So hands on your pelvis, and that should stay pretty. You should have very little movement with your hands on your pelvis. If you do, maybe your box is too high, you can modify with the lower box. Last one. Good, all right. Cool down stretch, 1 foot on the box. From here, tuck that pelvis back. And so I'm stretching my left hip flexor with By tucking my pelvis back, you can squeeze your glute to activate that posterior pelvic tilt. I'm gonna take my left hand and just reach over. Good. And back. Come out of it. Tuck your pelvis back and reach to the side. And back. Good. Should feel pretty good. Good. Last one. Good. Switch. So tuck your pelvis back and reach. Good. Good. 2 more. So like I said, go through this workout 2 to 3 times, depending on how much tightness you're feeling or if you want to build speed. Awesome job. You just completed the 10-minute hip flexor strengthening.